Hi, this is Jacek from Anaklasis Audio, and today we're going to have a pitch shifter death match, trying out three recent modern pitch shifters: the much applauded Boss PS1 released last year, the Fractal Audio pitch block available on all the Fractal Audio products, as well as the Line 6 Poly Capo, which is available in their HX1 pedal. Now, of course, if you're not familiar with pitch shifters, what are they? Well, they're pedals that allow you to change the pitch, the tuning of your guitar. Traditionally, they were pretty bad in the olden days and could give you weird, effects that didn't sound particularly realistic. But that changed a few years ago with the release of the Digitech Drop, which came out maybe 7 or 8 years ago, even longer. I've seen that pedal shown in reels of many bands like Soulfly and Napalm Death, and they use it for on-the-fly changing of tuning of guitars. That was really the first pedal that made pitch shifting realistic sounding and usable. But there's been a whole wave of new pitch shifters that came out in the last year in different solutions. So we'll go over them today. Anyway, so we're gonna do three different pedals today. We're gonna look basically at the Fractal Audio pitch block, which has received a lot of investment from Fractal Audio in the last year. It sounds way better than just how it sounded maybe 6 or 9 months ago. I think that all the last recent firmware releases of the Fractal Audio products have had a lot of investment in the pitch block, and it sounds definitely quite good. As I mentioned, we look at the Polyshift, the Boss PS1, and of course the sleeper hit, the Line 6 Poly Capo, which is included in the HX1 pedal. Now this is obviously a multi-effects pedal. It's not a pitch shifter pedal. It costs a bit more than the Boss. The Boss is about $200. This one is about $250, but we'll check it out and we'll see if the price difference is worth it. So let's go. What we're going to do is I have my Fractal Audio FM9 here, and I have in the 2FX loop, I have the Boss PS1 and the HX1, so we'll be able to switch between them in real time and compare them to each other and pick which is the best pitch shifter available right now. So let's get on with it.
Alrighty, let's finally start some sound tests. Let's go over the signal chain setup that we have here. I have my Fractal Audio FM9 with 2FX loop. So in this first FX loop, I have the Boss PS1, and the second FX loop, I have the Line 6 HX1 with the Poly Capo switched on. Right now, we're going to test -2. In terms of the other signal chain, we have my Kiesel Vader with Beryllium pickups tuned to D, and that's going into a DAS metal amp model on the FM6 with a Horizon Drive OD in front of it. And in the cabs, we have a guitar cabinet IR of a Bogner Greenback with two SM57s and a Neumann Condenser 184. And that IR is taken from my Anaklasis Audio Power Cabs Volume 1, which you can find on our website. 32 cabinets with 3200 IRs, all in variety of different cabinets and microphone configurations. So let's try what it sounds like without any pitch shifting. Okay, let's try with -2 semitones using the Fractal Audio. Sounds great, very natural, very realistic. Let's do the Boss. Also great sounding. Let's do the Line 6 Poly Capo and the HX1. All sound great. I would say the Line 6 is my favorite. I think it has like the most clarity and is kind of has the most presence thanks to its auto EQ parameter that allows to tweak the EQ of the pitch shifted signal to be bassier or more midi or more trebly depending on your preferences. I think it really helps to keep a balance between the natural EQ of the guitar and the pitch shifted signal. So here's again without any pitch shift. But honestly, all of them sound great and are completely usable. I would record with either of these pedals and be very happy with the results. Okay, let's try moving on to -3 semitones, where I think slowly we will start to hear some bigger tonal differences between the different pedals. So
And today's video is brought to you by my company, Anaklasis Audio. We've just released our first product, Power Cabs Volume 1, which took 7 months of hard work to create. It's the ultimate guitar cabinet IR library, consisting of over 3,200 IRs, basically 32 different cabinets from Engel, Bogner, Marshall, Mesa, Hiwatt, PV, and others, with every single speaker that you've seen probably in the last 30 or 40 years, V30s, Greenbacks, Fame, Sheffield, and others. With 7 different unique microphones used to capture the IRs, and every single IR combination also has 6 different post-processing EQ curves to fit it to different tunings and different types of guitars. So incredible value, and we're very proud of this, and we use it in all of our demos here on the videos that you hear. So go check it out at anaklasis-audio.com. And now back to the video.
Alrighty, so we're back. So again, we're set to -3 semitones. Again, without any pitch shifting, it sounds like this. We're gonna go to the Fractal Audio pitch block at -3 semitones. Still sounds great. Let's go with the bass. To me, the bass sounds a little bit clearer, has a bit more presence, versus the Fractal one gets a bit bassy, but it's minor, subtle differences. And we go to the line 6 Poly Capo. Definitely the line 6 Poly Capo is my favorite, with the Boss PS1 a close second and the Fractal in third place, but still all 3 of them sound pretty good. I would definitely say the Poly Capo to my ear sounds the most realistic sounding. Okay, in our next test we're going to try -5 semitones, which will take this guitar tuned in D to basically down to A, and will basically be the equivalent of getting a baritone guitar. We're going down 5 semitones. Okay, so we're back to our setup here without any pitch shifting. -5 semitones on the Fractal. -5 semitones, I feel like I definitely hear some digital artifacts on the pitch block on the Fractal. Let's try the bass. Definitely sounds better to my ears than the Fractal Audio one. More clarity, and it sounds more natural. Let's try the line 6. Slight edge to the line 6 in my opinion, but very minor. I think the line 6 Poly Capo and the Boss PS1 are neck and neck on this one, with the Fractal one definitely showing some digital artifacts to my ear at least. That's usually how far I would take a pitch shifter. I think going down more than 5 semitones is really about as far as you can take it. But for the fun of it, let's try going down 10 semitones, and that would simulate turning a regular guitar into an 8-string guitar, and let's see how far we get with that one. Okay, so I've set the pedals to -10. Now for this test, I can only test the line 6 and the Fractal Audio. The Boss PS1 has a very unusual design decision where you can basically bring it down -7 semitones, and then it only switches to 1 octave. So you can do 8, 9, 10, 11, which basically makes it impossible to use a pitch shifter to turn it into an 8-string style guitar. It's a very weird design decision. I don't understand why they did it, honestly, because they have like a -1 octave, -2 octave, I think even -3 octave, which honestly the -2 and -3 sound like digital garbage to me. So I would have preferred it that they kept the full 12 semitones going down or up, and not just up to 7. So we're just going to test the Fractal Audio one and the Line 6 one, and again, weird design decision from Boss PS1 that you're not able to try a 8-string guitar tuning. So let's try the Fractal Audio, -10 semitones. Sounds kind of okay, if you ask me, surprisingly. Don't try doing chords with it, because it'll probably sound weird. Yeah, maybe chords don't work usually that well on 8-string guitars, but single string. I'm surprised how usable it is, actually. I definitely prefer to do this on a regular string guitar than on an actual 8-string, with huge wide neck and huge thick strings. I have an 8-string here and I literally never play it. I'm probably going to sell it soon because I just don't like the feel of that type guitar. But let's try going down to an 8-string style tuning, 10 semitones down with the Line 6. Let's try the Fractal. I think I prefer the Line 6 a little bit more here, but the Fractal Audio actually seems to hold its own surprisingly well. There doesn't seem to be a big decline in sound quality from -5 semitones to -10. It kind of seems to be the same. So I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I think it's quite usable at -10 if you just want to record the demo or something. Anyway, I think that's a good set of samples. Let's move on to the final summary of this video.
Okay, so we had a chance to hear them all in action. Obviously everyone has subjective opinions. To me personally, 2 semitones down, they all sound great. Every one of them is perfectly usable and there's hardly not much difference between them. Once you go down to 3 semitones, you can see that the Fractal Audio one starts getting a bit bassy, and that may be what you like or not. It definitely sounds, the EQ of the pitch shifted sound changes a bit. I found the HX1 and the PS1 maintained kind of the EQ of the guitar tone a bit more naturally once you go down to 3 semitones. Down to 5 semitones, the same thing continues. They all still sound pretty good, with I think the Line 6 Poly Capo on the HX1 being my favorite, because its auto EQ feature allows you to just tune the EQ of the down pitch shifted signal to make it sound the closest possible to the original sound of the guitar. However, so before I declare the Poly Capo a definite winner, I'd like to say that the HX1 does have one major flaw that really bugs me, and that is that it does not have a momentary mode. So when you press the button here, it just switches on and off. You cannot just press it momentarily just to engage the pitch shifter for a few seconds and off as you take it off. I like using pitch shifters that way because, for example, if you're playing some weird chord with open strings, you can use that to basically do weird atonal effects and things like that. And it was kind of one of my favorite ways to use a pitch shifter. And that is not easily achievable on the HX1. Supposedly you can do it with this special flux mode they have here, and I have tried to get it to work. I've read the manual, which is not very helpful. I've asked AI, I tried to see YouTube videos, and I couldn't get it to work. This is very surprising to me because the momentary versus latching mode on their foot switches is available on all the other products. I've had the Line 6 HX FX, which is an excellent product, and it was very easy to switch every switch from momentary or latching. So I completely don't understand why they don't have that available on the HX1. I mean, all it would take is to have an extra configuration in every preset that switches the mode of the switch here from momentary or latching, and that would fix it. I hope they'll do it in a future firmware upgrade, but this product has been out now for over a year, and I haven't seen that in any of the firmware updates. And actually, if you go to the Facebook group for the HX1, there are a lot of questions about trying to enable the momentary mode on it, and all pretty much with no easy solution. The Boss, on the other hand, has the momentary function built right here. There's an extra switch, and you can just switch it from momentary to latching. So Boss did this right, and I got to give them credit for thinking through it this way. and I wish that, you know, the HX1 had something similar that it doesn't. So I can say that the Poly Capo, the Line 6 Poly Capo, is a clear winner. If you just want to use a pitch shifter engage for the whole song, then yes, I think it's the best sounding one. But if you like switching it on and off for just single notes or open chords, then I think the Boss PS1 is a better option. So anyway, I hope that helps you out. To summary, the Fractal Audio pitch block is great. If you have a Fractal Audio product, I don't think you need another pedal. I think it's good enough, and if it gets a bit too bassy, you can probably adjust it with some EQ. Otherwise, as the standalone pedal, I think the Line 6 HX1 with the Poly Capo in it is worth the extra money, the extra $50, unless you need a momentary function, in which case I think you should go with the Boss PS1 instead. So thanks for all the video. Thanks for your interest and staying this late to the video. Please subscribe and help out the channel, the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the next video.